Hello everyone, welcome to the class of Health and Physical Education, Unit 5, Children and Sports. And today we are going to learn that is exercise and the guidelines at the different stages of growth and development, advantages and disadvantages of weight training. Now let us learn exercises and the guidelines at the different stage of growth and development. Now when we are learning related to the guidelines at the different stages of growth and development, we always used to see that the exercise or the physical activity that plays a very important role that helps us in physical as well as mental development, which reduces most of the cases of mortality and the increases the life expectancy rate. Here exercise is important for us and for everyone to remain fit and active in our life. So it is important for the infant, for the childhood, for the later childhood, for the adolescent and for the adulthood. That means that exercise is required and it is much necessary for everyone, and it plays a very important role in everyone's life. Greater the volume of exercise or physical activity, greater the health benefit the person can get. So when the person is involved in the different types of exercise or he is doing any type of physical activity, he reduces the risk of depression, dementia, Alzheimer. Here there are the many of these disease which a person avoids by doing the physical activities daily. At least 30 minutes or 60 minutes should be performed. So it improves the self perception, self esteem, mood, and the sleep quality also improves. So here when we are talking about this exercise, let us see the guidelines which are being given at the different stages of the growth and development. What are the exercise which the person or a child should do at the age of 1 to 2 years, at the age of 3 to 7 years, 8 to 12 years, 13 to 19 years and above 19 years. So here we are talking about the infancy, that is the child who are having the age of 1 to 2 years, that is infant. Here we are focusing more on growth and development of the physical activities, and exercise should be encouraged. Here we are focusing more on gross motor activities. Exercise should be promoted. Here we used to help them in guiding related to the head control, to sit, to crawl. They should be encouraged. Here it is being told that it should be indulge in the some of the exercise which are moving the arms, moving the legs, reaching to the various objects. When the child is of 1 to 2 years, they should be engaged in the different types of activities so that they can move from one place to another place. Here the infant should be provided an objects and toys which help them to encourage them to move around, to do something by themselves. So here we used to also focus that they should avoid watching the mobiles or TV, these electronic medias and that all. So here the infant should not be restrained in the high chair for a prolonged time period. If they are sitting on a chair for a long time period, we should avoid. Then it should be encouraged that we should also encourage so that they can walk more, and they should not we should not use the stroller to carry them from one place to another place. So there are the simple exercise like throwing, catching and kicking a ball may be most suitable for the exercise during the stage of the infancy. Here so we are talk related to the infancy, that what the child should involve in, which types of activity they should be involved, so that we can keep them more active and healthy. Here the second stage is of related to the childhood, early childhood, that is 3 to 7 years. So in this time period they should be involved in the physical activities like throwing, catching, jumping, kicking the ball. More focus should be laid down on the participation and not on the competition. So here during this stage the activities related to the fine motor skills, that is coordinative ability, should be emphasized. Here when we are talking about the fine motor skills, that means that how to hold the pen, how to catch the ball, moving of the fingers, holding or gripping of any of the things. So they should learn all these things to move a little bit. So here where they are learning the neuro and muscular, both the activities, the coordination of both should be there. So coordinative abilities should be emphasized more. Here they should be also be engaged in the structured physical activities. Structured physical activities are those activities which are been designed. So structured physical activities we can call that like musical chair is a structured physical activity. Unstructured means related to the playground, any of the activities on the playground, that is unstructured. So they should be involved in the structured as well as unstructured physical activities. Recreative as well as the enjoyable methods should be used to encourage them for the participation in the various physical activities. So here it is being told that in early childhood most stresses should be laid down on the clean and safe environment, growth and development. Here when they are watching the TV, there should be a limitation related to the watching the TV, that is the quality channels they should watch. So these are the guidelines which the early childhood during the early childhood the person or the parent should follow for the children. So they need to be guided for the proper growth and development during the early childhood. Then we are having the later childhood. Later childhood consists of 8 to 12 years. So when we are talking about this later childhood, most of these children, they should be involved or indulge in themselves in like throwing, jumping, catching, running, so that they can acquire a good body control. They need to develop the strength, they need to develop the coordinative abilities, that is coordination also. So here when it is being related to the endurance, should be avoided. Stress should be laid more on the organized team games, which aims in the development of the self consciousness in them. So here to introduce during the it is being told that it is being introduced in the competitive activities. They should be involved in the competitive activities. They should be taught the basic rules of the games, enjoying the games, fair play, simple strategies and tactics they should be taught. Here it has also been introduced to concept of the sports training and exercise. So here they should be involved more in the endurance activities like aerobic exercise like running, swimming and cycling, strength activities, agility, coordination and balance. So these all are these all are activities are being involved in the later childhood, where it is very much necessary, essential for the child for the growth and development. So they should be involved more in the competitive phase, competitive activities. They should be we should focus more on the endurance, strength as well as agility and coordination and balance control activities should be involved in the later childhood. Now talking related to the fourth, that is adolescence, that is 13 to 19 years. So during this year, the person or the child should be involved more in the intense physical activities, and the intense physical activities that should be at least for 60 minutes. The person, the child, the children, the student should be involved for the 60 minutes and up to for the several hours. And when we are talking about the muscle strengthening exercise, it is being told that muscle strengthening exercise should be performed 3 times a week. And adolescents or the teenagers should reduce the sedentary behavior. They should avoid having a sedentary behavior. They should involve themselves in the physical activities like running, gymnastic, push-ups, jumping, basketball, swimming, many of the physical exercise or many of the games. They should involve themselves in more involved in the physical activities as well as in the sports and games. Then talking about the adulthood, that is above 19 years. So when we are talking about the adulthood, after some time period, what is the degeneration of the muscles after the age of the 30 years. So degeneration of the muscles and bones starts. So here when we are talking about the adulthood above 19 years, so they should involve themselves in the brisk walking, dancing, swimming, moderate exercise, not too high intensity exercise, but moderate intensity exercise they should involve themselves. Here muscle strengthening exercise is also very much important. As a matter of fact, the adult should require such exercise or activities that helps in increasing their muscle and bones strength, because it is very much essential to develop the bones as well as muscle, because at the till the age of 30 years it develops up to the peak extent. Then afterwards it start deteriorating. So these exercise like increases the skeletal muscle strength, power, endurance and mass. So bone strengthening exercise should be focused more and produce more impact on the tension forces on the bones, that promotes the bones growth and development. So here the focus is more on the development of the bone as well as for the muscle mass development. So these are the guidelines for the different growth and development stage. So here when we are talking about the adulthood, that is about 19 years, what are the guidelines they need to follow for the growth and development, it is being discussed. Now let us study related to the advantages and disadvantages of weight training. So when we are talking about the weight training is designed to strengthen the specific muscle with the help of the dumbbells and barbells. There are the different weights are available. So it is been available mostly in the gyms. Either you can have it at your home, you can have your personal weights, and you can exercise, because this is going to help be very much helpful in strengthening the specific muscles where it is being required. So athlete improves his performance by strengthening and conditioning the muscles, and with the help of that, it improves the performance of the athlete. So here, when we are talking about this weight training, here Germany was the first nation to use the weight training for the athlete in 1936 Olympic Games, where it has been seen that the weight training across the world has become the rule rather than the exception. That means that nowadays, when you see that the most of the games or whatever the sports are being played, the more focus is being on the player related to the weight training is being given. So weight training plays a very important role because it develops the specific muscles, which has been more beneficial for improving the performance and during the different sports and games event. Then we progressive movements, which are gradual increase in the weight for the specific muscle group to increase the performance. Here, what is the weight training when we are talking about? That means that it is a progressive movement where there is a gradual increase in the weight for the specific muscle group, which increases the performance and which increases muscle mass also. So according to the Logan tells that through the judicious use of the weight training, we can effectively improve the strength, local muscular endurance, and power, which are vital for the athlete. So Logan tells us it is a weight training we can effectively improve. You can improve your strength, you can improve your local muscular endurance and power. Continuously, or if you are involved in the weight training, then it helps us in the development of the muscle mass. It helps in development of the strength, improving the strength, endurance of the muscle endurance also increase, that are being related to the health related fitness, that is cardio endurance increases, muscle strength increases, muscle endurance increases. So these are the benefits, these are the advantages of the weight training. So here it is being told that the weight training here, it is also being told that whether the weight training uh, should be there for the children, those who are below 13 years or below the adolescence age. But here it is being told that weight training is more beneficial for the adolescent age, where but it should be under the supervision or under the guidance of the coach or the supervisors. So children must learn the correct techniques and procedures, which is more beneficial for them. If they are not taking the proper precautions or proper techniques, if they are not following, then it is they are prone to get more injuries during this weight training or lifting any of the weight. Now we are going to learn related to the advantages of weight training. Now, what are the advantages of weight training? So it helps in getting up the good shape. So when a person is being involved in a weight training, it helps us in getting the body in good shape. Here we can see that the fat person becomes slim and trim. The people, those who can put on the weight, if so when desired, as you have seen in the movie of Dangal, where it is was been required, they can improve their weight, where they can reduce their weight also. So there are the it is also helpful in getting up the body in a good shape. The weak becomes more strong, and the strong becomes more stronger. Here, when the person is being involved in the physical activities or in the weight training exercises, the person becomes stronger. If they are strong, then they become more stronger. So here the slow becomes faster and the ponderous become more dynamic. So the weight training helps is the individual in getting the body in a good shape, so it is beneficial. So one of the advantages of the weight training is help the body in getting the good shape. Second is given that the best means of providing the fitness. So weight training also provides the best mean of providing the fitness. Here the fitness level of the individual increases. So here the optimum gain can be made with by spending just 1 hour 3 times a week in the in the weight training exercise. If the individual is involved for 3 week 1 hour every day for 3 days in a week, it helps us in developing their health related fitness, like cardio endurance, cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, then muscular endurance, flexibility, body composition. This health related fitness level increases. So weight training is also advantageous, where it is considered as one of the means of providing the fitness. Then third point is given that it is helpful in enhancing the athletic performance. So weight training also increases the athletic performance. As we know that when the person is involved in developing the core muscles or developing the strength of the specific muscles, the strength has been increased. Here it has been more beneficial, because you have seen that the sports players, they are involved in those who are involved in the different games, they are performing the weight training exercise or weight training activities also, where it has been seen that the conditioning of these specific muscles are being done, and it has been required, essential for the improving the performance of the runner. Either it may be the wrestler, or it may be any of the football player, basketball player, or it may be thrower, jumper. So it involves in most of the games, so it is been considered, it is helpful in increasing the athletic performance also. Then next point, we are having best means to develop the strength. So weight training is also one of the best means to develop the strength, because here the more person is involved in the weight training, here the strength level also increases. So it requires the proper guidance under the coach and the experts. It should be performed. If they are not performing under the guidance or the supervision, or any of the supervision, then there are the more chances of the injuries. Risk of injuries are more. So the weight training exercise are valuable, but have to be done carefully and systematically. So here it also improves the strength, speed, and endurance. It has only been possible with the help of this weight training. So it is considered as one of the best means to develop the strength. Next point, we are having that it increases the bone density. So weight training also increases the bone density, because the research study have found it out that the person, those who are involved, or the people those who are involved in the weight training exercise, the risk of the osteoporosis reduces. So here there is less risk of the bone related problems. That means that many of the people are suffering from the osteoporosis, uh, that is related to the bone density, is less, reduction of the bone density. So here there is more risk of this. So here you can find out the brittle bones of such types of people. So to reduce the risk of this osteoporosis, the most of the people are being those who are involved in the weight training exercise, you cannot find out the risk of the people those who are suffering from the osteoporosis or bone related problems. Then next we are having that is reduces the stress and tension. The person those who are involved in weight training exercise, so when they are been involved in weight training exercise, it reduces the stress and tension. As we know that the hormones which are being secreted, that are the happy hormones, like oxytocin, endorphin, then serotonin. These are the hormones which are being secreted due to the weight training exercise. So that is helpful in reducing the stress as well as tension. Then we are having the disadvantages of weight training. There are the various disadvantages of weight training. If the person is not taking the weight training under the guidance of the coach or the any of the expert or physical trainer, then there are the more chances of getting injuries. So here we are having a disadvantages of weight training are there. So there are the various disadvantages in that we are having, that is the risk of injuries. So you may find out that if the person those who are not taking the proper care in the weight training, so here the risk of injuries are more. If they are performing with more heavier weight directly, and if they have not done the warming up, then the risk of injuries are more. So here weight training exercise, there are always a risk of the sustaining the injuries, especially when performing the exercise without any companion. It has been without any companion, if you used to do the repetition of the exercise, if you are lifting the weight, there should be some of the person who need to give you the guidance, proper guidance, that how to lift the object, whether it is being lifted, the techniques should be proper. If they are not using that proper technique, or they are not having any of the guidance and directly they are performing, the internal muscle damages, chances of internal muscle damage and bones are more. So here the risk of injuries are more in the weight training. Then we are having the next disadvantage is less flexibility. As we know that the weight training, no doubt that weight training is beneficial for the everyone, most of the players, but here the level of the flexibility reduces as the person or the sports person are involved more in the weight training exercise. The flexibility exercise are not done along with the weight training. So here it reduces the flexibility of an individual, because you can find out that when the more focus is being done on the specific muscles, so here you can find out the strength of the muscle increases. When the strength of the muscle increases, stiffness in the muscles, you may find out there will be a less flexibility, we can see. So when we used to see the bodybuilder or the weight lifter, you may find out that there might be it has been seen that there is less flexibility in such types of peoples. So there are the various types of advantages as well as disadvantages of the weight training. So on the basis of this you can prepare the notes. So these are the points related to the weight training. I hope so it is clear. So you can prepare the note on the basis of this. Thank you.